Welcome to Newsmax TV. I'm Kathleen Walter. Joining us now from Washington is Senator Marco Rubio, Republican from Florida. And Senator Rubio, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Senator, President Obama seemed unapologetic last night in his belief that bigger government is better for America. What surprised you the most about his State of the Union address, and was it unabashed liberalism on every front?
Yeah, it actually doesn't surprise me at all. I think it's an expansion of what he talked about in his inaugural address. And here's the bottom line. I mean, presidents in both parties have understood that what made America's middle class possible was the vibrant free enterprise system. The president thinks the free enterprise system is the cause of our problems, and he thinks that we need to have a bigger government that's more involved. And that's why you saw last night that on issue after issue, every time he identified a problem in America, his solution was some sort of spending program or some new law. And that's the way he thinks we can solve everything. That's an old idea. That's been tried over and over again throughout the world, and it has never achieved the kind of middle class prosperity that Americans want.
Now, the president last night kept driving home taxes, taxes, and more taxes. You've said the president has an obsession with tax increases. It seems like he has zero interest in working with Republicans on this. What do you and other Republicans make of the tone the president has set here?
Well, look, it's pretty clear he wants tax increases as much as he can get. I mean, for him, every solution to every problem is either a tax increase or a spending program. The problem is, as I outlined last night, there is no tax increase out there that's going to create private sector jobs, and there's no realistic tax increase that can generate enough revenue to pay down the debt. The only solution to our problem is the combination of spending discipline in the future and rapid economic growth. And that's what we should be having a debate on. And so what I said last night is, I hope the president will once and for all give up on his obsession with raising taxes and instead engage us in a conversation about how we can grow our economy the fastest way possible so we can grow our middle class and create more taxpayers, not more taxes.
Now, in delivering the GOP response last night, you said that we don't have to raise taxes to save the military. What's the best way to avoid sequestration at this point, or should Republicans let sequestration happen?
Well, where it's going to happen if what he insists upon is tax increases, but that's a false choice. You know, House Republicans have already not once but twice passed plans to avoid the sequestration, and they did so by replacing the sequester, which is kind of arbitrary across-the-board cuts that really hurt defense, replacing that with a very reasonable set of cuts that we need to do. But in the absence of that, it's going to happen. We are not going to walk away from real cuts that have been agreed to. And by the way, I think, as I pointed out in my address last night, for the president to attack us for refusing to cancel the sequester is hypocritical, because the sequester was his idea. He came up with it and he insisted on it. And we don't, and it's also, and to say that the only way to avoid it is to raise taxes is a false choice. It can be avoided through reasonable cuts like the kinds that the Republicans in the House have passed.
Now, the president spoke of climate change last night. Do you think there's going to be any middle ground on climate change? Any areas the Republican Party can work with him on, or is this a non-starter?
Again, I mean, I just don't think the government can change the weather. I mean, and America's not a planet, it's a country. To the extent that man-made activities contributing to some changes in our climate, that's global. That's not just the United States. We can't control what China does, India does, and other developing countries are doing. On the other hand, we can do a lot to destroy our economy, which is what cap and trade and things like that will do. It will raise the cost of energy, it will raise the cost of everyone's electric bills, and it will raise the cost of everything from your food to the cost of the products that you buy. It will make manufacturing untenable in America. It's just a terrible idea. It will do nothing to improve our environment, and it will destroy our economy.
Now, President Obama said he was not afraid to pursue his agenda via executive orders. Does this concern you, and what can Republicans do about it?
Well, we know that's true. He's already done that. Look, I think we need to continue, if necessary, to take it to the courts. You saw his recess appointments were recently thrown down by a court. They're thrown out by a court. I think that was the right decision. We're going to have to continue to challenge some of those decisions that he makes. But ultimately, I think it's very telling that the president has to work outside the realm of the Constitution to get his agenda done. Because there are even Democrats here in Washington that will not go along with some of his ideas, but because they're so far out there.
Senator, you're a rising star in the Republican Party. Time magazine just called you a Republican savior. What do you make of all the attention that you've been receiving for things like having a sip of water?
First of all, there are no saviors in politics. There's only one savior, as I said in Twitter, and it's not me. And I needed water. You know, usually at a speech you have a podium and the water's there, but we didn't have that last night. So as I said earlier today to someone else who asked me about that, you know, God has a funny way of reminding us that we're human.
Senator, last question for you real quickly. I understand that you're introducing education legislation today, which involves a school voucher plan. Some say this has strong ties to former Florida Governor Jeb Bush. Can you give us some insight into your legislation real quickly?
Well, I'm proud of that, but more importantly, it has strong ties to Florida, where we have a corporate scholarship program where corporations can, in lieu of paying state corporate tax, can make a contribution to a qualified scholarship organization who in turn turns around and helps needy parents send their kids to the school of their choice. We're just expanding that to the federal level, creating a federal corporate tax credit where in lieu of paying corporate taxes, a corporation can give up to $100,000 a year to a qualified scholarship organization, so that scholarship organization in turn can help needy students and their parents pick a school of their choice and pay for the cost of attending that school.
All right, Senator Marco Rubio, Republican from Florida. As always, it's good to speak with you. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching Newsmax TV.